I'm really worried about this birth rate thing. That's been troubling me for many years because I just don't see it turning around. Every year it's worse.
We're headed towards either superintelligence or civilization ending. Those like the two things that are. I think we need to watch out about population collapse. This is somewhat counterintuitive to most people. They think that, well, there's so many humans, maybe too many humans, but that's just because they live in a city. If you're in an aircraft and you look down and say, if you dropped a cannonball, how often would you hit a person? Basically never. In fact, there's stuff falling in from space all the time. Natural meteorites, old rocket stages, all the time. But nobody worries about it because the actual, in fact, there's a good cool website called Wait But Why, and this guy Tim Urban, he actually just did the math, and all humans on Earth could fit in the city of New York on one floor. Don't even need the upper floors. So that's actually the cross section of humans as seen from Earth is extremely tiny, basically vanishingly small, almost nothing. So we need to watch out about population collapse. Low birth rates, I think, is a big risk, and it's also not exactly top secret. You can go look at the Wikipedia, birth rate. So, and this is definitely the civilization ends with a whimper, not a bang, because it would be a sad ending, where the average age becomes very high, and really the youth are effectively de facto enslaved to take care of the old people. This is not a good way to end.
If you look at countries like Japan, most of Europe, China, and you look at the birth rates in a lot of those places is only at about half of the sustaining rates. When you have an inverted demographic pyramid, so if you look at the pyramid, you've got age variation, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 20-year-olds, sort of a demographic pyramid.
Right.
And in some countries, it's like an upside-down pyramid, so it'll sort of fall over. So it will not stand. What we'll actually have in those countries is a very high dependency ratio, where the number of people who are retired is very high relative to the number of people who are net producers. And so you cannot, the social safety net will not hold. We didn't evolve for this because we sort of evolved to just always procreate, and there wasn't birth control or anything.
Right.
Just have lots of babies. That's off the course, and hopefully some of them would survive. That was all of human history until very recently. And now it's, you've got cases like Japan where adult diapers outsell baby diapers. Europe's in a similar situation. China's headed the same way because they've had the one-child policy, and then even though they've relieved the one-child policy, the social norm has become to have an average of one kid. So even when they relieved that requirement, it didn't change. You can imagine, people sometimes say, well, what about immigration? It's okay, look, there's 1.5 billion people in China. Where is China going to get 700 million new people?
We're rapidly headed towards digital superintelligence that far exceeds any human. I think it's very obvious.
AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If AI has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity as a matter of course, without even thinking about it. No hard feelings. It's just like if we're building a road and an anthill happens to be in the way, we don't hate ants. We're just building a road. And so goodbye anthill.
The biggest issue I see with so-called AI experts is that they think they know more than they do. And they think they're smarter than they actually are.
It's definitely going to be outside of human control.
Not necessarily bad, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad. It's just outside of human control. Now, the thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. So the on-ramp to serious AI, the danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. That'll be the danger. Yeah. I was at a meeting of all 50 governors and talked about just AI danger, and I talked to everyone I could. no one seemed to realize where this was going. AI is probably the single biggest item in the near term that's likely to affect humanity. So it's very important that we have the advent of AI in a good way. That is something that if you could look into a crystal ball and see the future, you would like that outcome, because it is something that could go wrong, as we've talked about many times, and so we really need to make sure it goes right. That's I think AI, working on AI and making sure it's a great future. That's the most important thing I think right now. The most pressing item.
Intelligence will keep advancing. The only thing that would prevent it from advancing is something that puts civilization into stasis or destroys civilization. So then we have to figure out what is a world that we would like to be in, where there is this digital superintelligence. I think and then another point that I think is really important to appreciate is that all of us already are cyborgs. So you have a machine extension of yourself in the form of your phone and your computer and all your applications. You are already superhuman. But by far, you have more power, more capability than the President of the United States had 30 years ago. If you have an internet link, you have an oracle of wisdom. You can communicate to millions of people. You can communicate to the rest of Earth instantly. I mean, these are magical powers that didn't exist not that long ago. So everyone is already superhuman. AI is certainly one of the biggest risks. It could be the biggest risk.
Are we headed towards the future where an AI will be able to outthink us in every way? Then the answer is unequivocally yes. I mean, to me, in terms of what consciousness feels like, it feels like consciousness is in a different dimension. But this could be just an illusion. If you damage your brain in some way physically, you damage your consciousness, which implies that consciousness is a physical phenomenon. The things that I think are really quite likely is that digital intelligence will be able to outthink us in every way, and it will certainly be able to simulate what we consider consciousness. So to a degree that you would not be able to tell the difference. If you're talking to a digital superintelligence and can't tell if that is a computer or a human, like let's say you're just having a conversation over a phone or a video conference, something where you think you're talking, looks like a person, makes all of the right inflections and movements and all the small subtleties that constitute human.
Might as well.
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot. And nobody would suggest that we allow anyone to just build nuclear warheads if they want. That would be insane. And mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far. So why do we have no regulatory oversight? This is insane.
Elon expressed his reservations on AI development when he appeared at the Recode conference.
I am concerned about certain directions that AI could take that would be not good for the future. I think it'd be fair to say that not all AI futures are benign. Not all.
Okay.
And so I think it's important, if we have this incredible power of AI, that it not be concentrated in the hands of a few and potentially lead to a world that we don't want.
He stated that artificial intelligence might exceed us in every way. Therefore, we should make sure that it is benign. Take a look.
If you assume any rate of advancement in AI, we will be left behind by a lot. And so then we could be in benign situation, but even the benign situation, if you have if you have ultra intelligent AI, we would be so far below them in intelligence that it would be like a pet, basically.
Pet, that's what I was
like
thinking.
a pet,
Like
a cat.
Elon
It'd be like
the
a house cat. Yeah, it would be
right.
like the house cat.
Right.
And so if you have something, if we create some digital superintelligence that exceeds us in every way by a lot, it's very important that be benign.
In another interview with CNN Business, Elon explained that AI is developing at a much faster pace than anyone realizes, and therefore we should be proactive towards it rather than being reactive. Check it out.
AI is much more advanced than people realize, and the pace of progress is much greater than people realize. It'd be fairly obvious if you saw a robot walking around talking and behaving like a person, you're like, whoa, that's like, what's that? That would be really obvious. What's not obvious is a huge server bank in a dark vault somewhere with an intelligence that's potentially vastly greater than what a human mind can do. I mean, its eyes and ears would be everywhere. Every camera, every microphone, every device that's network accessible. That's really what AI means. It's not like a robot running around. The robots would simply they'd be like a finger of the AI.
In conversation with HBO, Elon explained that besides the threat of AI weapons, another threat posed by AI is data manipulation. For instance, the advanced AI could manipulate the results of elections and hence start worldwide disputes.
Probably a bigger risk than being hunted down by a drone is that AI would be used to make incredibly effective propaganda. That would not seem like propaganda.
So these are deep fakes.
Yeah, influence the direction of society, influence elections. Artificial intelligence just hones the message, looks at the feedback, makes this message slightly better. Within milliseconds, it can adapt its message and shift and react to news. And there's so many social media accounts out there that are not people. Like, how do you know it's a person, not a person?
He also pointed out that the conventional approach of regulated things won't be effective for AI, and hence we need to take immediate action.
The way in which a regulation is put in place is slow and linear,
Right.
and we are facing an exponential threat. And if you have a linear response to an exponential threat, it's quite likely the exponential threat will win. That, in a nutshell, is the issue.
When the interviewer asked Elon how AI could destroy humans, Elon responded by giving us a very interesting yet scary analogy. Take a look.
We have AI, which could destroy civilization.
Excuse me, how could AI destroy civilization?
It would be something the same way that humans destroyed the habitat of primates. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be destroyed, but we might be relegated to a small corner of the world. When Homo sapiens became much smarter than other primates, it pushed all the other ones into small habitats. They're just in the way.
In another interview with Y Combinator, Elon said that even if advanced AI does not develop its own will, it could be very dangerous because it could get stolen by someone and used unethically.
It's not as though I think that the risk is that the AI would develop a will of its own right off the bat. I think it's more that's the concern is that someone may use it in a way that is bad, and even if they weren't going to use it in a way that's bad, that somebody could take it from them and use it in a way that's bad. That's very dangerous. It could also get stolen by somebody bad, like some evil dictator of a country could send their intelligence agency to go steal it and gain control. It just becomes a very unstable situation, I think, if you've got any incredibly powerful AI. You just don't know who's going to control that.
Elon has suggested the machine-brain interface as a means to merge AI with humanity. He believes that this is the only solution to address this threat. Take a look.
I think it's to essentially, I think one of the solutions that seems maybe the best one is to have an AI layer. If you think of like you've got your limbic system, your cortex, and then a digital layer, sort of a third layer above the cortex that could work well and symbiotically with you. Long-term aspiration for Neuralink would be to achieve a symbiosis with artificial intelligence and to achieve a sort of democratization of intelligence such that it is not monopolistically held in a purely digital form by governments and large corporations.
Basically, an effort for man to merge with machine in a healthy way.
Yes.
To beat machines, you basically have to merge with machines.
Most likely, yes. Essentially, how do we ensure that the future constitutes the sum of the will of humanity? And so if we have billions of people with the high bandwidth link to the AI extension of themselves, It would actually make everyone hyper smart.
Okay, so you
This is very esoteric.
yeah, no, but you say this is more psi than phi, so you believe we're headed this
I
way.
believe this can be done.
It's really all about laying the groundwork to make sure that if humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, then we should do so very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. This is the most important thing that we could possibly do.
So, what are your thoughts on Elon's warnings? Do you think this is a really pressing issue? And do you agree with Elon's suggestion to merge humans? And would you be willing to get a chip inside your head in order to compete with AI? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll see you with another interesting video about Elon very soon. Have a good one.